And we're live today. I know we're waiting for some people to join us live. So we'll give a couple seconds here for everyone to hop on. But hi, Deb, welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you
Hi,
again.
me too. How are you?
Doing good. Last week we had to kind of abort mission like just before we were going to go live because my power cut out and I ended up being without power for like 8 hours. So that was fun.
That's not fun.
It was a
That's
little
not
cold.
fun.
It's all good. We're
Yeah,
we're here now. We're making things happen. So I am so looking forward to this conversation with you today.
likewise. How was your Valentine's Day? How was your,
Ooh, Valentine's Day was great. I love Valentine's Day so much. It is such a fun day. And honestly, just like February in general, we're coming out of I'm a big fan of Christmas, and then Christmas is over, and then we sort of fall into that like January slump where January takes forever, and there's like a million days in January, and it feels long and cold. And then we come into February, and it's like all about love, and like we're starting to think about spring, and I'm a big fan of that.
yeah. I like Valentine's Day a lot too. It's a good holiday and it's a good time for I like how the kids get to kind of gift to all their classmates, unlike Christmas and other holidays. They don't really like give to all their friends. And so I enjoy that, and they enjoy that too.
It's
So
so
I like
cute. And
it.
what a great day to like celebrate love. And I love that a lot of our social media was around celebrating self-love. That's just such
Yes.
a key component, so important. So, yes, February's the month of love. I'm all about it. Well, I'll just introduce myself quickly. I'm Steph Coulson, and I'm the founder and CEO of Holistic Goddess. And we are diving in with my dear friend Deb today and this whole month actually with all of our lives all about the women's hormone cycle. So if you're here a couple weeks ago on our last live, we were talking about the sort of menstrual phase of your cycle, and today we're going to be talking about the follicular and ovulation phase and what you should be feeling and how that works in your body and just diving in. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Um, and I think one thing that we really want to focus on, just kind of in the breath of Valentine's Day and the month of love, like you said, is self-love and supporting yourself
Yes.
during all these phases and hormone shifts that go on throughout a month. Um, so the follicular phase is kind of an easy phase to support yourself and give yourself self-love, because most women feel really good during that time. Um,
Really good.
but
Yeah.
it's yes, but it's still important to think about all the ways that you can kind of support your body. I saw you had posted something about what to eat um, during
Yes.
yeah, and I had actually written that down in my notes too. I can't
I love
remember what
that.
you had specifically what foods you said. What do you eat during
What do I
your
eat?
fun and flirty week?
I just focus the fun and flirty week. I definitely focus on just a really nice well balance during my follicular phase. So like, make sure I'm getting all my fruits and vegetables. I fast. So I fast according to my cycle. So my fasting hours in my follicular phase are longer than my fasting. I actually don't really fast like 12 hours, which I don't really consider a fast during my menstrual phase. But in my follicular phase, I can go longer and I feel better. And so in my eating window, I'm eating lots of like fruit, yogurt, granola, berries, hard boiled eggs, probably having like steak or chicken dinner, kind of really balancing things out as much as possible. And then I do definitely eat like a little bit more carbs in my late luteal phase, which is where I am right now to support myself. I find I need that extra energy. I burn through it pretty quick as I am getting ready to actually menstruate.
Well, what I had written down, so foods that support like a rising estrogen, which is what happens during the follicular phase. Like, so as you're coming out of your menstrual phase and all your hormones are pretty low during that time, what you have is climbing estrogen. And the green veggies that we should all kind of eat anyway, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, arugula, even cauliflower, which isn't a green one, they all are really good for estrogen metabolism in the body. So those
Mm.
are good things to kind of focus on and support the rising estrogen. And then lean proteins also are very good to eat, like eggs, like you said, chicken, um, tofu,
Salmon's a
lentils.
big one in my house too. Lots of
Yeah,
salmon.
yeah. Um, so, and then as always, like, the healthy fats are always important for all hormones. So, avocado, nuts, olive oil, salmon, like you said, has a lot of good healthy fat. But even chia seeds or flax seeds are also very good for that as well. And as your menstrual phase is ending, most women kind of are a little low on iron. So as you're going into that follicular phase, replenishing your iron is important too. So that is where spinach, grass-fed beef, pumpkin seeds actually have a lot of iron in them. Black
I
beans have
love
a lot of,
pumpkin seeds.
yeah, black beans have a lot of iron. So those are the foods that I think about during the fun and flirty time.
I
Yeah.
love that. That is so great. I think we have a graphic just about sort of the inner seasons and how it all works. If we're correlating phases of your cycle to seasons, then we would be talking about spring right now. Here, yeah, we can pull it up. So we talked about the menstrual phase, which was winter last time, and the follicular phase is the spring when we're all starting to feel really good. That like spring fever feeling, I think, is a good indicator of how you're feeling in general in your body. And then the ovulatory phase, which is only 1 day, which is really sad. I wish it was way longer.
I might have more kids if it was longer, so maybe I'm okay with it being 1 day.
That's fair. I might too. But still, you just feel so amazing. You
I
want to
know,
bottle that up
I
and keep
know.
it for sure.
Yeah.
And then the luteal phase being that autumn, sort of winding down for winter again, all over again, which we will be talking about next week. Okay, we can pull that back down. Thank you. Um, let's talk about how rising estrogen is making you feel in your body.
Yeah, so during the follicular phase is the start of the estrogen rising, and it basically peaks like around ovulation. And estrogen makes women feel great. It usually is related to more energy and feeling more social and feeling more confident, and usually sleep better. And yeah, and it makes you feel kind of flirty and wanting
I
to
definitely
be.
feel more like confident and outgoing, just in general, when I'm like in
Yeah,
my follicular phase, for sure. It's
yeah,
crazy how
yeah.
different
You're
you feel.
as
Like I am very much in my deep luteal, like my period's coming probably any second now, like literally any second. And I feel that. I feel heavy in my body. I feel
yeah,
tired no matter how much coffee I drank. It's wild to me when you actually pay attention and notice. I mean, I think a lot of women are just so go, go, go that they don't actually stop to be like, how do I feel in my body today? And I like even just waking up and doing like a morning body scan of like, okay, did I sleep well? How's that going to set me up for my day? Do I feel dehydrated? Did I drink late coffee? Did I eat a meal later? Like I notice even so I have an Oura ring and my scores are impacted by if I eat later, like if I go out for dinner. So like for example, I went out for dinner last night and I ate way later than I would normally eat. And my all of my scores were highly impacted by that. And it even picks it up and says, like, did you eat a late meal? Like, yes, I did. That's why I don't feel as good today. It's fascinating to me.
yeah. It is. Yeah, definitely. Estrogen helps you feel less heavy, less bloated. It makes Oftentimes people will say that like their skin feels clearer and even looks brighter, which is why
Yes.
like pregnant women have like a glow to them. especially like in early pregnancy, like people notice a difference. They're like, "What? Oh, you're glowing." It's because you have more estrogen, and your estrogen is rising. Um, and yeah, and then it also has a lot of cognitive benefits too. Like when your estrogen is rising and is high, like your memory improves and your brain can literally process things better. So you hear about women that are pregnant, then later in pregnancy, where like that's when now the estrogen is starting to, like, they had it like peaking for a while, right? As so yeah, it impacts that too. One thing that's interesting is when estrogen rises, it's just this like kind of steady, like feeling good. Unlike when later in your cycle, progesterone rises or shifts, progesterone like shifts, causes more of mood swings and it feels more unstable. Whereas estrogen, like coming up, like doesn't do that. It feels much more steady in the body, which is part of the reason
Interesting.
why you feel good. So it's just an interesting thing that the hormones kind of impact differently as they rise and come down. But yeah, so estrogen makes women feel good. Yeah, for sure.
It just makes you wish it could be high all the time, 100%. But then again, we wouldn't appreciate the lows or the highs if we didn't have the lows in contrast,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's by design, I guess. Um, I think we have a hormone chart.
Yeah.
Should
Let's
we
show it.
pop that up and check it out? I'm just trying to find my coffee. It's my
So I
coffee.
think we have
Okay.
another one too. This one's well, this one's good because it just shows estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. The one thing that is good to keep in mind here, especially if you're if you're perimenopausal and you're considering hormone replacement therapy, is that testosterone also plays a big role in women's health and how you feel. And oftentimes, when you start hormone replacement therapy, they start progesterone and oftentimes testosterone at the same time, or just depending on. But testosterone is often where a lot of women start with hormone replacement therapy because, as you can see, where ovulation is, testosterone takes a little peak, and testosterone helps with libido a lot, which is something that a lot of women struggle with when they become perimenopausal, and it also, obviously plays a role in strength and all of those things. So it's part of the reason you kind of
So that's
feel,
partly why you can lift heavier out in the gym too when you're ovulating. It's
yeah,
because your
uh-huh,
testosterone is also peaking. It's
yeah,
funny because a
exactly.
lot of women don't think about that. They just go, oh, testosterone's for men.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is definitely a hormone that women need as well, and it is related to why things are all kind of at its best at ovulation time. Yeah, for sure.
Wow, it's wild how much they fluctuate when you look at it
Yeah,
on a graph like that. Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So I know you like comparing it to male hormones, and I know you
I
have that
do because
graph.
it's really, really fascinating to me because women are such cyclical beings. And I don't think in our current society we spend enough time giving that the credit that it deserves in terms of understanding. Like, this is something we should be teaching our daughters because I think we, in our like modern day go, 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 like we always talk about, our girls expect to just feel a way. And the answer is you don't actually feel a way. You're going to feel this way, and then you're going to feel this way, and then you're going to feel this way, and you have to figure out what's normal for you. And then if you're having an off month, which we all do, I mean, I definitely have months where I have like way harder periods, and I notice it's like, was I sick before I got my period? Was I way overtired? Did I massively overcommit myself? Did I have a lot of stress? Like, that impacts, even if I had a stressful like couple weeks before, then my period is way harder, way, way harder. And just being
Yeah.
able to pay attention to those things, I think is so empowering because then you don't get stuck in that like feeling down on yourself or feeling broken or feeling like something's wrong with you. Yeah, see, this is a great comparison. It's kind of mind blowing when you put it up like that, hey?
Yeah, like, oh, you get to be like this, and we get to be like this.
Like massive swings, but over a long period of
Period
time.
of
Whereas men, it's
time.
just like 24 hours every single time.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just so much more consistent.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Women are definitely the more complex beings.
Yeah.
We've got that nailed down for sure.
Yeah. So you said something you want to teach your daughters. It's also something I want to teach my sons because
Yes.
it's important to understand, especially also, I always felt when I was pregnant and then you have a baby, I'm like, they give you so little information. Like, they don't tell you, like, you're going to go home and expect to feel like very depressed, or expect to feel like very crazy, or expect to feel like you have no idea what to do. Like, nobody empowers you with that, at least not for me. If it
No,
happened for
me
you, I'm
neither.
so glad. But it didn't happen for me. But what it really
Didn't
needs
happen
to
for
happen for is your partner. It's like, don't worry, the person you married is not crazy. Like, what's going on and is expected, is normal. This is what's going to happen to a woman when she gets pregnant, and this is what's going to happen after she has a baby, and this is what's going to happen 3 months later when she goes back to work and you think everything is back to normal. That's when, like, I feel like a lot of the postpartum stuff really hits, when everyone thinks everything's supposed to be back to normal. It's like, oh, I made it to my 6 week appointment. Doctor said I'm ready to work out again. And like, my clothes is starting to fit, maybe. And then, you're going back. And then that's when the hormone crash like hits you and you're feeling crazy. And that's when your
totally.
baby is now like waking up more and isn't that sleepy baby that, is easier to soothe. Anyway, similarly, when you become perimenopausal, most women don't know what to expect, let alone neither
Yes.
do their partners. And it's just like, people are like, spouses are like, what has happened to you? Like, you're crazy, you're irritable. And nobody tells you, like, at least no one told me. And definitely nobody educates husbands or men on this. And,
No.
it's so easy to support if you have the tools, if you have the
If
knowledge.
you're paying attention. Yeah, if you know what
Yeah,
to look for. It's
yeah.
fascinating. I had a conversation with a really amazing clinical psychologist, and he specializes in couples that are going through like counseling before they decide if they want a divorce. And I talked to him and I was like, what do you think the age like mostly you see in your offices? And he's like, it's like women in their like like mid to late 40s to early 50s. And I'm like, have
Hmm.
you ever asked them what their hormones are doing? Or they
Yeah,
just are like throwing in the towel of their marriage. And he's like, I've never considered what they could hormonally as individuals be going through. They maybe feel isolated. They maybe feel alone. Nobody's talking about it. They don't know if they're experiencing is normal. People are like, you're crazy. Their husband is like, what is going on with you? I don't even know how to support you. And the problem is they can't tell their spouse how to support them because they don't know how to support themselves,
that's right.
because
That's right.
we have failed as a society in making those women feel heard and seen and supported. And so, how could anyone in their orbit support them if we as a whole collective are not really engaging and being like, okay, this is normal what you're feeling, and if you're feeling this way you can do this, and if you're feeling this way you can do this, and have you thought about this? Or even just having conversations. I mean, I really believe, which is why doing these lives, having these conversations is so important to me, is the communication, the women talking about experiences and being able to say, I have felt this, have you? And just putting it out there, I think is so
Yeah.
healing, right? If one woman hears one thing that we've said and goes, wow, okay, I'm not alone, then that to me is a huge win.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. And so a lot of
That's
times
right.
when women start to have these symptoms and they start to feel unlike themselves, they don't you don't know that, like, maybe something is going on in my body, normal or abnormal.
Yes.
An expected part of perimenopause, an expected part of aging or not. A lot of times it's hard to even recognize that, especially because when you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, confused, and you're just not being the person that you used to be, or not perform, like, it's hard to like reset and say, okay, how do I solve this problem? Because you're not the best version of yourself. So, it's hard. And especially when you're working and you have kids, you're just trying to get through the day. So yeah, the education on it is so important so that maybe if you yourself don't recognize it, the people around you can say, hey, have you considered like having your hormones
Yes.
checked? All, you know what I mean? And I think that, it's so sad. And even people that work in healthcare um, don't have the tools or the resources, to get the help that they need. And even if you look at just the monthly cycle that we've shown about, and you see the huge spikes and drops that happen in a woman's normal cycle, you can imagine like
Yes.
staying in those consistent lows, which is what kind of starts to happen in perimenopause or postpartum, are so
Yeah,
devastating. Like there's so many symptoms, for sure. I think.
totally. I feel like that is like a topic all by itself, honestly, because I know I had experienced even like you said, postpartum, crazy lows and drops. And I feel like there's probably a lot of similarities between that and perimenopause. And then I've heard it called cougar puberty. Like, and how interesting it is. There's so many women who's, depending on what age you had your kids at, your daughter is going through
Yes.
puberty and you are going through reverse puberty, right? It's the complete opposite of your body. You're in puberty, your body's winding up for childbearing years. And in perimenopause, it is winding down to be no longer in your childbearing years. And it's like, why do we get to experience that at the same time? It's like a whole
Yeah.
big gift by itself.
Yeah, that's a whole new thing. That's so funny that you brought that up because on Friday I was at my daughter's Valentine's Day party and I was talking to another mom and she was telling me her older daughter's a teenager going through puberty and like gave her some sass over something and she turned to her and was like, "Oh girl, I'm perimenopausal. I can top that sass so fast because my hormones are doing just the same, but I'm fiercer than you." I
Totally.
was like,
It's
that needs to
so
be a meme.
true.
It was so funny. It was so funny. But yeah, like, and so I came home that same day. My daughter's she's almost 12, but she's starting to, she cuts an attitude here and there and things like that. And I told her, I was like, oh, girl, I can bring that right back at you.
It's coming. I know my daughter's 8 going on 9. So I'm like, okay, I am going to be staring down this perimenopause thing by the time she's like full on in puberty. That's going to be real fun. It's going to be a blast for everyone. I see somebody asked in the chat, why do I crave sweets as I get closer to menopause? I'm in my early 50s. Do you think that's like a
Well,
hormonal thing? A
of
body
course,
crying
yeah.
out for
So it's the
something?
same. It's the same reason you crave sweets before you get your period. You have the the falling estrogen and the falling progesterone. So falling estrogen and falling progesterone really impact, well, your hormone regulation is impacted, which impacts your neurotransmitters in your brain, and those regulate things like your appetite and your mood and things like that. So it's the same exact reason we crave sweets before your period because it's the same thing that's happening. Um, Perimenopause, it's all the hormones are starting to drop the same way that they do in the end of the luteal phase of your monthly menstrual cycle. So, and it's
Interesting.
also a reason why a lot of women, have weight gain later in life. Like, of course, as you age, your metabolism begins to slow down and things like that. But when your estrogen and progesterone levels are dropping, your energy levels drop. Like your willingness, ability to work out as strong as maybe you used to has now gone down because of the hormones. But then it impacts your appetite, and so yeah, so that's why. So supporting your hormones definitely helps with those cravings, for sure.
Totally. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That totally makes sense. um, I am I am feeling it today. Struggling over here. But that's real, right? That's real
Yeah,
life. That is
yeah,
like, I am not in my ovulation phase today.
yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It really is hard. I think that the best thing to do is to really kind of, like you said, every morning, um, do a self check, do a self assessment of
Totally.
yourself
I
and
swear by that.
yeah, and how you're feeling. I think having a morning routine, like there's so much on that out there, is a is really important for everybody, for little kids,
Yep.
men, women, everybody, but especially for women, like you said, kind of doing a self survey of yourself is important. But I think that women should really stay on top of monitoring their hormones. Get in touch with your doctor, whether that is a primary care doctor or a functional medicine doctor or an OBGYN, whoever you have a trusting relationship with.
Or a
And
naturopath.
and I'm guilty of it too. Like I get behind and you put yourself last in so much of it, but we all know that
Yes.
you have to put on your mask first and you have to make sure that you're taken care of first and your
It's
health
very
is
true.
the most valuable asset that you have. Like
No.
there's nothing that you should prioritize before your health. Um, and I'm guilty of it too. I'll get up and before I go brush my teeth and wash my face, I'll make sure the kitchen is clean. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I do that. But like at the end of the day, like taking care of myself, the self-care is the most important thing because you
It is the
being
most important thing.
the the healthiest and most vibrant version of yourself is by far the most important thing. The best gift you can give yourself and everyone in your life. Everyone in your life
Totally.
prefers a healthy
Yeah.
and happy version of you than a clean house or perfectly done whatever it is.
It's so true. You just can't pour from an empty cup, and that's when you just cause so much burnout. We have two other questions here. One says, for the first time in my life, I feel exhausted days before my period. What changed?
Yeah, so
Probably age.
yeah, and as you age, we talked about this on the last live, as you age and or just um the way your cycle like is changes. So some women, start off with very heavy periods and then later in their 30s
Yes.
they
Yes.
get lighter or vice versa after children. So the symptoms that you feel like when you first start having a cycle and all of that in your as a teenager and early 20s is not going to necessarily mirror what it's like later on. So probably the drops in the hormones are becoming more extreme. And then with
Mm.
age, like your body's ability to handle like those major drops, lessens.
Fluctuations in general. Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You
You
have
become more
less
sensitive to that.
resiliency.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
feel
I
that.
mean,
Take on less. Someone else said, what's the best cycle phase to create a project or build a business? Well, obviously, follicular.
obviously, yes. Between like once your period ends until like you're still feeling pretty good. 2-3 days after ovulation, that's your time. That's your time to conquer the world.
Totally.
That's right.
100%. Yes.
Hmm.
Do whatever you do best. Create
7 to 17.
content, make art, go to a party, throw a party,
Yes,
go on a
yes,
trip. Like that is
yes,
definitely the time for sure.
yeah.
Before you get back to the blanket burrito phase, which is where I am gonna be. It's coming.
That's coming. Yeah.
So great. And we do have, I just want to do a little call out too. We did launch a limited edition product last Friday, which I'm so excited about. It's in pre-sale right now. And for those who cannot decide if they want the benefits of lavender and frankincense, we have Goddess Glow, which is both lavender and frankincense, so all the benefits with a limited edition green aventurine roller, which I'm really excited about because it's just something completely different and it smells divine. When we were in the formulation phase for this, I got all the fun samples. So I've been using this for a few months myself and I'm absolutely obsessed. So for all those goddesses, we've got this going on right now too.
Nice.
So exciting. So exciting. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And this has been, I mean, we could just like literally talk all day, I think. But I'm trying to save the luteal for next week so that we can dive deep into that. And I do think maybe our next should be that perimenopause, postnatal. There's just so many interesting similarities, which I hadn't really spent the time to think about. Um, I would love to dive deep on that with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be so great.
That
Well,
would be
thank
great.
you.
Yeah,
So this
thank
has been
you.
excellent.
All right.
And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.